Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Nature Channel. Tonight, we're going somewhere quiet, a sun-warmed world close to the ground, where tiny feet rustle across sand and scales glimmer like jewels. We're spending the evening with the lizards, the small, ancient wanderers who slip between light and shadow. Lizards live in nearly every corner of the planet, in deserts, forests, islands, and gardens. They move with calm precision. There are more than 6,000 species, each a small note in the long song of evolution. Some lizards sleep beneath stones that hold the memory of daylight heat. When night falls and the air cools, they press their bellies to the stone and absorb its warmth, as if the earth is tucking them in. Others rest in the safety of bark crevices. The geckos cling upside down, their toes covered with millions of microscopic hairs that grip smooth surfaces so gently that they could walk across glass. No noise, just a whisper of motion. In the Australian outback, the thorny devil drinks with its skin. Tiny grooves between its scales draw dew and rain toward its mouth, channeling every drop like miniature rivers. Even in silence, the body of this creature is a living instrument for survival. Some lizards can drop their tails when threatened, a strange, self-sacrificing act that confuses predators. The tail wriggles on the ground, flickering like a separate life, while the lizard slips away into safety. Later, over weeks, a new one grows back, smaller, softer, but still part of the story of resilience written into their bones. On tropical nights, anoles change color, blending into bark or leaf. Their skin carries cells called chromatophores, tiny mirrors of pigment that open and close like living shutters. By day, they shine emerald. By dusk, they turn the color of quiet earth. If you've ever seen a lizard basking on a wall, motionless in the sun, you've seen meditation in its purest form. They absorb warmth until their blood flows easily again. Warmth means movement. Movement means life. The Komodo dragon, largest of them all, carries the same patience, only magnified. It can taste the air with a forked tongue, reading invisible trails of scent up to miles away. Its slow steps seem deliberate, ancient, like something remembering another age. In the deserts of Namibia, small sand lizards dance on their toes to keep from burning their feet. They alternate limbs in a rhythmic pattern, 2 up, 2 down, turning heat into choreography. Even the harshest places inspire grace. Lizards communicate through motion more than sound. A nod, a wave, a flick of tail. Their language is body poetry. Some species perform push-ups to display strength, little gems of sun and stone. Others flare bright dewlaps under their throats like flags of light, catching the attention of a watching mate. Their eyes, ringed in gold or copper, can move independently, each exploring a different world. When a chameleon watches you, it is also watching the wind, the branch, the passing shadow, all at once. A living mirror of awareness. And then there is the desert night lizard, who spends its life among fallen Joshua tree bark. Generations stay together in small family groups, sharing the same shelter year after year. Beneath the brittle wood, they form a quiet community, unseen but steady. When rain falls, some lizards drink directly from the droplets that bead on their backs. When wind rises, they flatten to the ground and wait. When dawn returns, they bask again, unhurried, returning to warmth as though it were prayer. They are time made visible, patient, adaptable, serene. So tonight, as you breathe, imagine the warmth of stone under your hand, the faint scent of dry grass, the soft pulse of sunlight across scales. The lizards are still there, breathing quietly in their hidden worlds, teaching by example that sometimes stillness itself is the truest motion. As the evening deepens, the world cools and quiets. The stones lose their warmth, and the first pale stars shimmer above. This is the hour when many lizards awaken, not into frenzy, but into calm motion, slow and deliberate, like a dream remembering how to move. Imagine soft sand glowing under moonlight. Tiny footprints appear, a trail of thought made visible. Somewhere in that silver hush, a gecko glides along a wall, its skin translucent, its eyes wide and glassy. It doesn't blink because it doesn't need to. A clear membrane slides across its eyes like a curtain of silk, keeping the world in perfect focus. Lizards see light differently than we do. Many can perceive ultraviolet rays invisible to humans. Flowers, sky, even the scales of other lizards gleam in hidden colors that only they can read. To them, dawn and dusk are painted with secret radiance, a glowing spectrum that turns the ordinary into wonder. Some desert species bury themselves beneath the sand during the heat of the day, surfacing only when shadows lengthen. Their bodies, half buried, sense vibrations through the ground, footsteps of predators, the wing beats of insects, even the faint hum of wind. The earth itself speaks to them through touch. In rainforests, small emerald basilisks sit by the water's edge, utterly still. When startled, they sprint upright across the surface of the river, their long toes spreading to slap against the water. For a few miraculous seconds, they run on liquid. Then, as momentum fades, they sink back in, swimming smoothly away. The locals call them Jesus lizards, but they seem unaware of the name, only of the rhythm between speed and stillness. Elsewhere, in the soft pink deserts of Chile, the sandfish lizard swims not through water, but through sand. Its body moves in rippling waves, disappearing beneath the surface and gliding below like a creature of air. No resistance, no struggle, just flow. Even in dry silence, they find a way to move like the sea. Some lizards shimmer with scales that act like tiny mirrors. When light touches them, it scatters into blues and greens that seem to glow from within. These structural colors aren't pigment at all. They're architecture, light bending through microscopic layers that split and dance with each step. The result is a living prism crawling through sunlight. Chameleons take this even further. They can alter the spacing of crystals in their skin to reflect different wavelengths, shifting from bright turquoise to dusty gold in seconds. Scientists once thought this was for camouflage, but it's also emotion, a reflection of mood, heat, and social conversation written in light. In dry valleys of Africa, skinks flicker across gravel like drops of quicksilver. Their scales are so smooth and polished that sand slides off them like water. Each movement is silent, perfectly efficient. The desert accepts their presence the way it accepts wind, without question. When the moon is full, geckos climb higher. Their calls, soft clicks and chirps, echo gently across walls and leaves. They speak to one another in patterns of rhythm, not volume. A conversation meant to be felt rather than heard. Some lizards sleep with one eye open, literally. Their brains can rest one hemisphere at a time, keeping half awake for danger. It's a survival strategy written into dreams. Half sleep, half watchfulness. life balanced between alertness and peace. The slow breathing of a basking iguana is like the tide. Its chest rises and falls in rhythm with the waves that crash below its cliffside perch. Its heart beats slower than ours, its blood thick and calm. The warmth it gathers in the day carries it through the coolness of night like a stored memory of sunlight. And the glass lizard, long and legless, moves through grass like water poured from an invisible jug. It's not a snake, though it looks like one. Its eyelids blink. It hears the world through small openings behind its jaw. Watching it move is like watching a brushstroke come to life, a single line of motion that never breaks. In mountain forests, anoles leap between branches, calculating each distance perfectly. Their tails act as rudders, their toes like soft grappling hooks. Even in sleep, they cling with grace, a poem of balance between gravity and trust. If you listen carefully, you might notice how every movement of a lizard has purpose, no wasted energy, no panic. They teach stillness without ever stopping. And as the night deepens further, you can imagine them scattered across the world, basking, hiding, gliding, waiting. Their blood slows with the cool, and their hearts rest under the vast calm of stars. Their lives are small in scale, but infinite in rhythm, a dance between sunlight and shade, heat and rest, awareness and ease. So breathe once more, slowly. Feel the air move in and out, like a tide beneath your ribs. The world of lizards continues quietly around you, ancient, patient, and entirely at peace. As the night drifts deeper, the air cools to a silvery softness. Imagine yourself in the desert now, where the sand still holds the day's warmth like a quiet ember. The stars spill overhead, cold and infinite, and somewhere between them and the earth, small lives continue to move, soft as breath. Lizards are creatures of the borderlands, between night and day, hot and cool, stillness and motion. Their bodies tell stories of adaptation so subtle it feels like art. In the dunes of Arabia, the fringe-toed lizard dances over sand like a whisper. Its long toes act as snowshoes, spreading its weight so lightly that it never sinks. Every step is an act of precision, each grain of sand shifting underfoot, each movement a conversation with the desert itself. When the wind rises, they turn sideways, presenting only a sliver of body to the blowing grit. Their eyelids have transparent shields, a veil of protection that lets them see even through dust storms. And deep beneath the dunes, the desert monitor burrows through tunnels cool as midnight water. It can travel for hours underground, its powerful claws carving chambers where the air remains steady and moist. There, it lays its eggs, safe from the heat that scorches the surface. In other parts of the world, forests cradle lizards in shadows and light. Skinks shimmer like liquid bronze between roots, and tiny anoles bask on sun-dappled leaves. The forest is their labyrinth, a world of scent, vibration, and color more intricate than any human map could show. Some forest lizards, like the flying dragon of Southeast Asia, unfold hidden wings, flaps of skin stretched over long ribs. They launch themselves from tree to tree, gliding through filtered sunlight like living leaves caught in a gentle wind. When they land, the wings fold again, vanishing into the body as if nothing ever happened. On the forest floor, horned lizards lie motionless, their bodies shaped like fragments of bark. They wait in patience so perfect that moss may grow near their tails before they stir. When danger approaches, they flatten themselves and change color, blending into soil and stone. Stillness becomes their greatest language, invisibility their most ancient song. There is a lizard in the Galapagos Islands that feeds beneath the sea. The marine iguana, black, rough-skinned, and prehistoric, dives into the cold Pacific to graze on algae. When it surfaces, salt sprays from its nostrils in tiny fountains, shimmering in the sun. Each breath seems to carry the ocean's memory. Its blood cools quickly in the water, and so it basks again on dark volcanic rock, absorbing heat until its heart slows back into calm. The island's waves rise and fall beside it, a lullaby older than time. In the Australian bush, the frilled lizard lifts its head and unfurls the great collar around its neck, a sudden crown of gold and orange. The display is not just for fear, but communication, a flare of light and shape that says, "I am here." When calm returns, the frill folds gently down again, as if humility and courage could share the same body. Some species never need to drink water at all. In deserts, they absorb moisture from the food they eat or collect dew that forms overnight on their skin. When the first rays of morning slide across the ground, they lick tiny droplets from their scales, life continuing drop by drop in silence. On the dry cliffs of Namibia, small geckos with transparent skin bask before sunrise. Their bones glow faintly beneath the surface, like ivory through amber. Their eyes, lidless and luminous, catch the first threads of dawn before the world even feels the warmth. Everywhere on Earth, lizards shape themselves to place. In forests, they become shadows. In deserts, sunlight made flesh. Their patience is a kind of wisdom. They do not fight the world, they fold into it. Even their hearts obey the rhythm of the earth. In the heat of the day, it beats faster, sending warmth through every muscle. At night, it slows, steady as the turning stars. In that quiet pulse lies a truth older than humankind, that life does not rush, it simply continues. So tonight, as your breathing slows, picture them all, the hidden, the still, the radiant. From the glowing sands to the damp green leaves, they move softly through their small worlds. Every flick of tongue, every ripple of color, every breath is part of the planet's long, gentle exhale. The desert breathes through them, the forest dreams through them, and somewhere between the two, you breathe too, quiet, steady, and alive. Somewhere between the glow of dawn and the hush of dusk, lizards find their rhythm. They are creatures of temperature and light, moving when the sun allows, resting when the air cools. Their world is ruled not by hours, but by warmth, by the pulse of sunlight across stone. Imagine a soft morning in a canyon. The air still carries the chill of night, and the rocks gleam with dew. From the shadows, a small lizard appears, its body flat against the ground, drawing in the first golden rays. Slowly, its blood stirs, and the world begins again. Across Earth, lizards live by this sacred exchange, warmth for movement, heat for life. In Madagascar, the day gecko wakes beneath leaves that glisten with water. Its skin shines like emerald glass, covered in microscopic scales that repel dust and water alike. When it moves, it looks as though sunlight itself has taken form. Near waterfalls, tiny stream anoles perch on slick rocks. They hold their breath and slip underwater to escape predators hiding for minutes beneath the surface. When danger passes, they emerge again, flicking droplets into arcs of silver light. Even in flowing water, they find stillness. In mangrove swamps, lizards walk through salt and shadow. The mangrove monitor swims between tree roots, its forked tongue tasting both air and current. It is a hunter, but not hurried, moving with the same patient purpose as the tide. Some lizards breathe through their skin when underwater, not entirely, but enough to linger where air is scarce. Their bodies are porous vessels of adaptation, turning oxygen and liquid into a quiet partnership. The Solomon Islands skink, one of the few reptiles that lives in family groups, curls with its young in the hollows of trees. Parents guard their babies from snakes and birds, and the entire family huddles together to share warmth. Among creatures often thought solitary, they live as a gentle tribe. In hot savannas, spiny-tailed lizards carve homes into sun-baked earth. Their burrows stretch deep and cool, lined with dry grasses. Each tunnel is a map of patience, dug not in haste, but with the steady rhythm of survival. And in the high Andes, there are lizards that bask at altitudes where frost forms each night. They live closer to the clouds than to any forest, curling into rock crevices to escape the cold. When the sun rises, they appear again like small embers, drawing fire from thin air. Scientists have found that some lizards remember pathways, using landmarks, colors, and scent to navigate like tiny travelers. They return to the same branches, the same stones, as if each place holds memory, a quiet sense of home. Others, like the anoles, have adapted to cities, living among humans. They cling to walls and fences, their feet adjusting to smoother surfaces, their colors subtly shifting to match urban light. They remind us that even in our restless artificial spaces, nature still breathes beside us, patient, adaptable, waiting. Chameleons move so slowly that it feels like time pauses to watch them. Each step is deliberate, each grasp a small meditation. Their eyes swivel independently, and yet, when they strike, the tongue lashes out faster than a blink. Stillness and speed coexist within them, like two sides of the same dream. In ancient myths, lizards were said to embody regeneration. Their tails, once lost, return anew, a cycle of renewal written into flesh. Some cultures saw them as symbols of rebirth, others as guardians of light and shadow. To watch one rest in the sun is to glimpse time folding softly upon itself. A few species, when the world turns too harsh, slow their hearts to almost nothing. They enter a gentle torpor, half sleeping through droughts and cold. Days pass like hours, hours like breaths. In this suspended rhythm, they endure. And when the first drops of rain fall after long dryness, the desert awakens. Beetles stir, seeds crack open, and lizards rise from the sand. Their scales gleam dark with moisture, their movements renewed. The storm becomes their lullaby, thunder a slow heartbeat above the dunes. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it. The faint scratching of claws on bark, the soft pulse of breath under scales, the sound of sunlight filling lungs. It's the music of endurance, quiet but eternal. Lizards remind us that time doesn't rush. It glides, expands, and contracts like the slow flick of a tongue tasting the air. So breathe with them now. Feel the air move in, warm and alive, then flow out again, cool and still. You are part of the same cycle: light, warmth, rest, renewal. The same rhythm that moves through lizards has always moved through you. The sun has long since set, and the air hums with quiet warmth. Somewhere beneath your thoughts, the earth continues to breathe, slow, steady, alive. Lizards know this rhythm well. They live so close to the soil that they can feel the planet's subtle pulse through their bellies, as if every stone carries a heartbeat. Beneath dry grass in the shallow tunnels of an old hillside, a lizard drifts half asleep. Around it, the ground holds the scent of roots, minerals, and ancient rain. Its body has cooled, its breathing slowed to a whisper. It doesn't fight the night. It surrenders to it. Some lizards dig their own burrows with gentle precision. Others share those made by insects or small mammals. In the Kalahari, sand lizards carve spirals deep into dunes, where air moves just enough to stay fresh, but not enough to chill. Each chamber is a sanctuary, a private pocket of earth held between sleep and waking. In forests, skinks slip under moss, where moisture gathers like dew in shadow. The soil there glows faintly with life, microscopic organisms turning fallen leaves into nourishment. Every inch beneath the forest floor is a quiet city of roots and fungi, and lizards travel through it like wandering guests who leave no trace. The connection between lizard and ground runs deeper than sight. They sense the smallest tremors, footsteps, raindrops, the low murmuring roll of thunder still miles away. For them, the world is never silent. It's a constant conversation between weight and vibration. In some deserts, at dawn, the sand itself sings. When the wind crosses a dune just right, the grains vibrate, producing a deep hum, a natural note, low and resonant. Lizards pause to listen, their heads tilting slightly, as if they recognize the earth's voice. When rain finally falls, the transformation is miraculous. Seeds crack open overnight, insects swarm, and the soil releases its scent, that rich, dark perfume of renewal. Lizards emerge from their shelters, drawn to the warmth of the wet air. Their tongues flick out, tasting the new world. In those moments, the ground is alive with motion. Tiny geckos lap dew from leaves. Young skinks dig through softened soil, leaving delicate trails that glisten in the moonlight. For a few short days, the desert becomes a feast, and every grain of sand seems to shimmer with gratitude. In the rocky canyons of North America, collared lizards claim their sunlit perches. Their throats and backs blaze with colors: turquoise, yellow, and coral. Under the morning sun, they perform short bursts of movement, leaping from rock to rock like living sparks. These displays aren't just for survival. They are the Earth's own art, painted briefly on scales. Some lizards, like the slow, heavy Gila monster, rarely leave their burrows. They store fat in their tails, surviving on few meals a year. When they emerge, it's deliberate, a slow, steady pilgrimage toward sunlight. Their venom, ancient and potent, is a defense more than a weapon. They remind us that power can coexist with calm. In contrast, the small Mediterranean wall lizard darts across ruins and stones, its body quick as breath. It finds warmth in the relics of human history: marble, clay, sun-baked brick. Civilization itself becomes its landscape. In quiet courtyards, it pauses to bask where no one notices, the simplest life thriving in forgotten light. Some lizards even eat plants, gently nibbling flowers or fruits when insects are scarce. Iguanas, especially the green species, feed on leaves and blossoms high above the forest floor. They rest afterward, eyes half closed, their bodies rising and falling in the rhythm of digestion, sunlight turning into life through silence. The earth beneath them has shaped every one of their forms. Long toes for sand, claws for bark, flattened bodies for stone. Each adaptation is a kind of prayer to place. To live this close to the ground is to listen to it always, to feel its warmth, its pulse, its quiet generosity. And in return, lizards give back to the soil. Their movements stir seeds. Their burrows aerate the earth. Their presence keeps the balance of insects and plants in check. Even in stillness, they are caretakers. If you close your eyes now, you might sense that same grounding. The slow weight of your body against the bed, the gentle pressure of the earth holding you up. Beneath you, millions of lives breathe, roots, worms, water, stone. The same network that holds every lizard, every tree, every step you've ever taken. The world below is not darkness, it's depth. And the lizards, with their quiet patience, remind us that stillness is not emptiness, it's connection. Morning returns like a slow tide of light, spilling gently over the horizon. The stones warm first, then the air, then the soft bodies of the lizards that have waited all night beneath the surface. One by one, they rise, not hurriedly, but as if remembering how to move. The sun means everything to them. It is warmth, energy, awareness. When it touches their scales, their blood wakes, their thoughts quicken. Each heartbeat begins to match the rhythm of the day. On the cliffs of the Mediterranean, wall lizards stretch their limbs toward the sun, lifting their chins in quiet reverence. They bask not only for heat, but for balance, regulating their bodies with the precision of living instruments. When they have absorbed enough light, they retreat to shadow, carrying the warmth with them like a hidden ember. Some desert lizards change color with the temperature. Their skin darkens in the cool of morning to draw in heat, then pales in the afternoon to reflect it away. In this way, they wear the weather like clothing, adjusting with grace rather than resistance. High in the rainforests, green iguanas lounge across tree limbs, tails trailing like vines. Their skin glows faintly where the light filters through leaves. Every few minutes, one opens an eye, looks toward the river, then closes it again, unbothered by time, aware only of the gentle pulse of warmth flowing across its skin. In the savannas, agama lizards display bright flashes of blue and orange as they dash across stones. These bursts of color are not random. They are signals, stories written in light. The males stretch and nod, their movements forming a kind of conversation with the shimmering air. In a coastal marsh, a small lizard drinks sunlight through its back, while cool water laps around its feet. Its body becomes a bridge between elements. Fire above, water below. The warmth ripples through its blood, and even the air seems to vibrate softly in response. Scientists have found that basking lizards can sense the angle of sunlight with remarkable accuracy. Their inner clocks align to the sky, guiding them to the same warm spot at the same hour each day. It is a partnership between creature and cosmos, time measured not by machines, but by the movement of light itself. In Australia, bearded dragons tilt their bodies to catch the sun more efficiently, flattening their sides like living mirrors. When danger nears, they puff their throats, forming a spiky crown of defense. Yet even then, their gestures remain graceful, strength expressed through stillness. Near rocky shores, Marine iguanas gather in clusters to share heat after a morning swim. Their black scales shimmer as steam rises gently from their backs. They close their eyes, pressed side by side, hearts slowing in harmony. The warmth of one becomes the warmth of all. A basking lizard is not idle. It is reading the day, the direction of the wind, the temperature of stone, the quality of light. All translate into action. In those quiet minutes, it gathers every detail needed to survive, then moves on with perfect timing. Even predators pause for the sun. Monitor lizards, strong and deliberate, spend hours motionless on warm earth, their eyes half-lidded, tongues tasting the invisible. They seem to know what we forget, that stillness is not absence, but attention. On islands, lava lizards bask atop black rock so hot it would burn human skin. Yet they thrive there, their scales adapted to disperse heat evenly. They rest at the edge of volcanoes, surrounded by the smell of sulfur and the whisper of the ocean. Life, it seems, finds peace even in the harshest fire. The sun not only fuels their bodies, it sculpts their world. Every plant that shades them, every insect they eat, every breeze they feel is part of the same luminous cycle. Light falls, life grows, and the lizards move through it like notes in a quiet song of energy. At noon, when the heat swells too strong, they disappear again into shadows, under stones, beneath leaves. The day pauses in its own breath, waiting for evening's gentler hand. If you imagine this moment, you can almost feel it, the living balance between heat and coolness, rest and motion, silence and song. The same sunlight that fuels the forest and warms your skin flows through these tiny creatures, a shared pulse across all life. For them, basking is meditation. For us, perhaps, it can be too. So breathe deeply. Let warmth fill you like light through leaves. For a moment, be as the lizards are, unhurried, aware, perfectly in tune with the gentle heartbeat of the world. When night returns, it doesn't fall all at once. It drifts softly, first in the cooling of stone, then in the quiet of air, then in the deepening blue that folds over everything. The world exhales, and so do the lizards. They are creatures made for rhythm, light and dark, heat and rest. When the sun vanishes, their bodies slow, as if time itself begins to thicken. Their eyes, shaped for twilight, catch the faintest motion. To them, the night is not empty. It is full of color our eyes cannot see. Imagine a warm desert after dusk. The sand still holds the memory of day, glowing faintly beneath a violet sky. Small geckos emerge, their skin translucent under moonlight. Their feet, covered in a million microscopic hairs, cling to any surface, glass, rock, even the underside of a leaf. They move in silence, perfectly balanced between gravity and grace. Some geckos sing. Their calls are tiny notes, chirps and clicks that echo softly in the night. To us, they sound like whispers. To one another, they are songs of distance and belonging. Each call marks a territory, a greeting, a gentle assertion. I am here. In the forests of Borneo, a leaf-tailed gecko clings motionless to bark that matches its every pattern. Even its edges are jagged like lichen. When the moon shifts, it adjusts slightly, blending once again with the dark. It is not hiding out of fear. It is simply being part of everything around it, a living shadow that breathes. Some lizards see in near darkness. Their eyes contain mirrors, layers that reflect light back through the retina, allowing them to gather what little illumination the night offers. To such eyes, the stars themselves are enough to map a world, and there are nights when the world glows faintly, not from stars or moon, but from the lizards themselves. In certain rainforests, bioluminescent fungi shine on the forest floor, and the lizards crawling through them shimmer green with reflected light. For a moment, they look like moving constellations, small galaxies among roots and leaves. The slow desert nights are also alive. Small horned lizards emerge to feed on ants that march in endless lines. They hunt, not with haste, but with patience, waiting for the rhythm of the insects to cross their path. Each motion is measured, each pause is precise. When the stars rise higher, larger lizards, monitors and tegus, rest in burrows or among warm rocks. Their breathing deepens, their hearts slow to the quietest of beats. They enter a kind of trance, a living dream. Inside them, the sun of the day still glows faintly, stored in blood and memory. Even while sleeping, their senses remain attuned. They can detect the tremor of an approaching step, the faint rush of air as a predator passes by. The earth tells them stories while they sleep, and they listen without fear. Some lizards dream, or at least their brains show rhythms like ours during sleep. Perhaps they see flashes of motion, patterns of heat, memories of light and shadow. Perhaps they dream of sun and stone and the endless rhythm between them. And when dawn comes again, they do not awaken suddenly. The night lingers in their calm eyes, the stars reflected in their stillness. For them, sleep and waking are just two shades of the same existence, one slow, one quicker, both woven into the same circle. In ancient folklore, people once believed that lizards carried messages from the stars, moving between worlds of light and dark. Their cool blood and silver eyes seemed otherworldly, their ability to disappear into shadow like a kind of quiet magic. Maybe that belief was not so far from truth. After all, when you watch a lizard bask beneath the sun or breathe softly under moonlight, you can sense something timeless, a connection between the heavens above and the small, beating life below. So tonight, if you lie still and listen, imagine them out there, on walls and trees, among stones and dunes, breathing in rhythm with the earth. Their tiny hearts beat slowly under constellations that have watched them for millions of years. Each flick of tail and breath of wind is part of the same song, the song of survival, of silence, of serenity. And in that shared stillness, maybe your own heart can join theirs for a while, slow, steady, timeless. The horizon glows faintly, not yet bright, but no longer dark. The stars begin to fade one by one, like embers cooling in a hearth, and all across the sleeping earth, the first quiet motions of morning begin. A gecko slips beneath a leaf, its night of wandering complete. In the desert, horned lizards burrow back into sand, their tracks vanishing as the first wind stirs. The forest wakes more slowly, dew sliding down from leaves, mist hanging like breath between trees. Everywhere, the world softens. The air is still cool, but the promise of warmth is near. Lizards rise to meet it, not in haste, but with the calm assurance of those who have done this for 100 million mornings before. Their bodies stretch in slow arcs, catching light that trickles down through branches or across stone. You can almost feel it, that first delicate warmth of sunlight touching scales. A spark, then a flow, then a steady hum of life. Their hearts quicken, not wildly, but with rhythm, the slow music of waking. On cliffs near the sea, Lava lizards step out onto black rock. The tide sighs below them, and the wind smells of salt. They open their throats to the rising sun, tiny beacons catching the light. In forests, anoles flutter their bright dewlaps, flashes of orange and pink in the mist. These small displays are not fights or warnings. They are greetings, the quiet acknowledgement that another day has come. Farther south, iguanas stretch their long tails through the leaves, droplets of last night's rain sliding from their backs. The forest around them hums, birds calling, insects stirring, water dripping from branches. The world awakens in layers, one sound at a time. And yet, through all that gentle noise, there is peace. Lizards do not rush toward the day. They ease into it, step by careful step, letting warmth seep into their bones before moving. In this patience lies an ancient kind of wisdom, the understanding that life doesn't need to hurry to thrive. They are older than the mountains that cradle them, older than the forests that shade them. For more than 200 million years, they've watched the same sun rise and fall. Empires came and vanished, rivers changed their course, but still the lizards bask, breathe, and continue. They are the quiet survivors of the world, proof that life endures through grace, not struggle. When the morning brightens, the air shimmers with invisible heat. Lizards scatter to their places, some to hunt, some to hide, some simply to sit and watch the day unfold. Their movements weave through the fabric of the world, small stitches of awareness holding everything together. The stones grow warm. The wind carries the scent of dust, pollen, and light. Somewhere in that stillness, a rhythm repeats, the soundless heartbeat of life that never really stops. And if you listen, truly listen, you might feel it moving through you too. A pulse that belongs not only to lizards or trees or oceans, but to everything that breathes and waits and wakes beneath the same rising sun. So now, as your thoughts drift toward rest, let this morning belong to them. Picture their small ancient bodies soaking in light, every scale reflecting warmth, every breath a quiet acceptance of the world as it is. You are part of that same world. You are part of that same stillness. The sun will rise for you, too, in its own perfect time. Let your breath fall in rhythm with the earth's. Let your body soften like sand beneath gentle wind. There is nothing more to do, only to rest, and let the warmth of life hold you quietly, endlessly.